Hey, hi Shiva.
Hi.
What were you doing?
So we learned about visual facilitation gameplays, and we started with icebreaker sessions. One of the icebreakers, we did 3 icebreakers, so that we get familiar with each other and let go of any preconceived notions and became comfortable with it. Moving on, we followed the same board method. So what we did here was we picked up a problem which the group agreed upon.
What was the problem?
The problem today we were discussing was losing real social connections.
Okay.
We divide the chart paper into 2 halves, the positive and the negative.
Mhm.
And in order to keep up the energy and the momentum of the room, we first talked about the positive ideas.
Yes.
So that the energy doesn't drop. Everybody on post-its wrote about the positive impacts that real social connection gives you. After we were done doing that, that's when we wrote the negative social impacts.
So where are the negative post-its?
The negative post-its have gone back to the next chart, which I
Okay.
will come to.
Uh-huh.
Just to explain a little bit more about positive and negative. Positive are the things which are helping us move forward, which means things that are helping us to form real social connections.
Mm-hmm.
And negative ones are the ones that are holding us back from having these social connections.
Yeah.
We then moved to the curation part of it, which is there are similar patterns that we started seeing. So what we did is this exercise is called Affinity mapping, wherein all the pink sheets that you see are the negative post-its. You just asked what it was, and there was a certain pattern that started emerging. So similar ideas, similar viewpoints started getting bucketed into these headings: digital, work-life balance, emotional, behavioral, and external. And
Was this already decided by the facilitator
no,
or?
facilitator had no role to play in this. It was all decided by the group. We came together and then we bucketed them depending on how we thought it should be followed.
Mm-hmm.
So the mapping was done according to that. And then once all the mapping was done, we voted for it. So you can see these dots over here.
Yeah.
So you can see there are 3 written, 2 written. So these were the number of votes that each sub-cluster started getting. So the main cluster is digital, and then under that we have a few more mapping that was done. We moved on to the third stage.
Actually fourth. First, second, third,
Fourth stage called creation. So over here we picked up the highest voted topic and we put it here.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a very interesting exercise that we did. It's called HCW, which means how can we. So that we converted the negatives into saying possibilities of how can be converted into a more positive idea. And so one of the things was how can we balance screen time. So the
Mm-hmm.
main question was that we are spending too much screen time.
Mm-hmm.
And so how can we balance it? Balance our screen times. And so then we started writing it on post-its. Everybody came up with different ideas. Say no to screen time. Time boxing was.
What's this flower thing?
Yeah, so what we did was, after we had written it, this flower is called the brainstorm flower. And we then started bucketing these how can we balance ideas into these 4 things.
Mm-hmm.
And then we started giving them separate headings. So some of the ideas were on self-growth, some of the ideas were on, how can we do more outdoor things. One of them was time boxing. And so they were basically divided into 4 quadrants. We're calling it brainstorm flower.
Okay. And it could be 4 or 5 or any number of quadrants.
Any number of quadrants, depending on the number of topics that people have come up with.
What's this orange one?
So the one topic was how can we balance screen time, digital working.
Yeah.
This one is how can we build emotional strength. So we chose
this one also came from this HCW exercise.
Yes.
So if there are 3 ideas, 3 HCWs, then you have 3
3
flowers as
brainstorm
well.
flowers that can come. If
Yeah.
you have 4, then you can have 4 brainstorm flowers.
Okay.
And then we again voted, and then the highest voted idea got into the confirmation part. So now the famous matrix of effort and impact has been explained into a very relatable and more simplified storytelling method, which is the effort impact cooking matrix.
Cooking matrix.
Yes.
Okay.
So here's our person with 4 hands. So one of them is fine dining.
Yeah.
The other is YouTube recipe. The third is ready to eat, and then there is mom's food. And fine dining is
Or dinner for guests basically.
yeah, a dinner for guests. So
Yeah.
it's high effort, high impact.
Yeah.
Then you have ready to eat, which is low impact, low
High.
effort.
Hmm.
And then there is mom's food, which is high impact, low effort. And YouTube, which is high effort and low impact.
And which should be preferred metrics? Which should be our
The
preferred?
preferred metrics is obviously the one which is low effort and high impact, which is your mom's cooking.
Okay.
And so then the ideas were then again shifted to this and voted.
So the facilitator chose which idea will go there.
Again, the facilitator was just facilitating. It's the participants who decided that what would actually be more beneficial to them
Yeah.
as a group. And so then they chose the set of ideas that should fall in this matrix.
Okay.
Which is
Then-
when we, any idea would just remain at the idea stage if it doesn't have any actionable items to do.
Yeah.
Which is when we come to the last leg of this exercise, which is the
So you
closure.
mean to say that these post-its
Yeah.
were placed here,
Yeah, these post-its were placed here.
and then they got
And
shifted
then
to
they
the
got
close
shifted
part.
here so that, but the last step is if they are here, how can we complete them within the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So they become urgent and most important.
Yeah.
And so then actionable items were listed down here. And that's
then-
how we arrived to our conclusion.
And was
that-
it allocated to individual
Yeah,
person
and
as
once
well?
the actionable items were arrived, each individual was given responsibilities to execute that.
Fantastic, Shiva.
Thank you.
How was the whole session?
Oh, it started with, I thought it's going to be very complex, but it's a very interesting and a very interactive exercise.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Piyush signing off.